Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Sally Limis. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. A COVID patient who needed extra care is back on their feet. Also tonight, attorneys and lawmakers are heated in today's session. And help is on the way for those who need to stop tobacco habits. In sports, men's basketball erupts thanks to one club's efforts. Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
Good morning, Kiko. I am here at Docomo Wallarai branch. The Docomo staff here are super helpful with my appointment. They take good care of me in just a few minutes. Thank you so much for helping me out downloading and using the Skip Lino app. I can take care of all my Docomo needs. No need to wait in line with the Skip Lino app. We love you, Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Opioids are commonly prescribed drugs. They can help ease short-term pain after surgery, an accident, or illness. Common brand names include Vicodin, Demerol, OxyContin, and Percocet. Opioids can be very addictive, and they can actually change how your brain works. Opioid misuse can lead to death. If you are prescribed an opioid medication, talk to your doctor. Always take exactly as directed, never take higher doses, keep your medication secure, and safely dispose of unused or expired medication. It only takes a little to lose a lot.
Being a responsible driver is simple. If you are drinking, do not drive. Number 1, plan your safe ride home before you start the party. Choose a non-drinking friend as a designated driver. 2, if someone you know has been drinking, do not let that person get behind the wheel. Take their keys and help them arrange a sober ride home. 3, if you drink, do not drive for any reason. Call a taxi, family member, or a friend. 4, if you are hosting a party where alcohol will be served, make sure all guests leave with a sober driver. Number 5, always wear your seatbelt. It is your best defense against impaired drivers. If you see an impaired driver on the road, call 911. Your actions could help save someone's life.
And there you have it, McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich. From the makers of the world's most stolen fries. The juicy chicken sandwich from the place that offers extra napkins for a reason. The tender chicken sandwich from the creators of a sandwich phenomenon. So you won't just be biting into a chicken sandwich, you'll be biting into McDonald's new crispy, juicy, tender chicken sandwich. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Off a day to the WAMI and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Wednesday, August 25th, 2021. One of the individuals who was hospitalized for COVID-19 has been recovered. Hospital Chief Esther Munya reports that one of the 2 individuals who needed hospital care for COVID-19 has been recovered.
There's only one now, one who's recovering really, really well. And again, not on ventilator. But it is, that's, again, sometimes the medical provider will like to have them, on that consistent monitoring. So, again, this is still, you're not out of the woods, especially if you are, if you're COVID positive, and that's always the worry for us, right? No matter who it is, whether vaccinated or unvaccinated, we want to make sure that you're okay in the hospital.
The individuals were taken care of at the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation. Muni confirms they are incoming passengers and experience symptoms while in quarantine. Because they are still active patients, no further information can be given. But Munya does assure the community that if ever the number of hospitalized patients increases, the CNMI is prepared.
Obviously, right now, even if you look at around the globe and around the U.S. and even in Guam, this causes a lot of strain for the health system and the hospitals. That's where we don't want to go there. That's basically our concern, is to try as much as possible. And we have the tools, whether it's vaccination, contact tracing, making sure that we can test. And that's the thing about here in the CNMI, is that we are able to test. We've been able to test on day 5, and we've been finding these individuals on day 5 if we didn't find them on day 1. So, and that's because it takes for some that have recently gotten exposed to a contact. It doesn't necessarily show up on day 1 or day 2.
As of today, there have been 229 positive cases of COVID-19 since March of last year. And more with Esther Munya, those who have been unvaccinated will still be at risk even with herd immunity in the CNMI. Currently, the CNMI has a 77% fully vaccinated community. The target date in reaching herd immunity, which is 80%, is just a few days away. Considering the 3 weeks between shots, we probably won't get there on time. But Hospital Chief Esther Munya says it does look promising.
And so, but still, it's still promising because people are walking in, getting their vaccines, and on a daily basis, we're still seeing a large number of individuals getting their first shot.
And with the Delta variant present in the region, the biggest concern now are the unvaccinated individuals.
What we're seeing is that there is that unlikely spread within a bubble, of vaccinated individuals. The biggest concern is always the unvaccinated. And we're talking about children, right? We're talking about, especially with schools starting already.
Munya states the risk is higher without the protection of vaccine.
This Delta variant has been shown that it does create, number one, it's highly infectious. And it brings us, and you're seeing this right now throughout the globe, and even through even throughout the U.S. And in Guam, that even, for example, you have more people that are unvaccinated hospitalized. And so this is the protection for you and for your family members.
Although children who are 5 years old and below are ineligible to take the vaccine, Munya encourages those who can to do so. The House investigation into the governor's expenditures continues with boating safety police officers. Lieutenant Henry Kaipat from the Department of Public Safety appeared before lawmakers this morning as he was subpoenaed to testify on questions relating to the expenditures of Governor Ralph Torres. But the hearing didn't push through. Kaipat requested to exercise his constitutional right and have all the questions asked in Carolinian. The heat and tension began inside the chamber as the attorney representing Kaipat didn't agree with the way the House was conducting the translations.
The way that we're doing these translations don't work. In order for this to proceed efficiently, wouldn't it make sense to translate each question after and each answer thereafter? Therefore, if there's an issue with the answer of any of the translations or anything, it can be addressed immediately, versus the opposite way of us listing this off and trying to find a wrong answer, and then taking a short recess, going to a random tape, and verifying before proceeding further. I see that as a longer way to do things.
Initially, Representative Denita Yangtimay had asked a list of questions to Kaipat in the Carolinian language. She had asked questions regarding his career inside DPS, his knowledge of the English and Chamorro language, and his educational background. Kaipat answered all but one question, which was a violation of his attorney-client privilege. The JGO committee then asked their translator to repeat the questioning in English for the record, but he made an error. That's when debates were made and the moving was moved until tomorrow. Coming up, learn more about how to stop the addiction of tobacco.
I got my COVID-19 vaccine. How about you?
Akong lango also wala COVID-19 lango also. Esta usually is COVID-19 vaccine sa August.
I did it for my kids.
I did it for my friends.
I did it for my family.
I did it for you.
I did it.
Just do it.
Do it for us.
Let's do it together.
At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537.
This is it, CNMI. The Road to 80 wraps up this week with a $4,000 raffle on Friday and the grand finale on Saturday. This is your last chance for a shot to win over $30,000 in cash, a 17-foot boat, and a Nissan Rogue Sport. So what are you waiting for? Register for your shot today at vaccinatecnmi.com or call 682-SHOT. The Road to 80 is brought to you by the Office of the Governor, COVID-19 Task Force, Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation, Joten Enterprises, Bridge Capital, Tan Holdings, and more.
One of the best things you can do during the pandemic is to get yourself healthy and strong. Gold's Gym is a great place for a tune-up. Wide open workout spaces with dedicated cardio, free weights and machines, personal training, group exercise, and good nutrition. Short-term daytime promo on sale now, just $159 for 3 months. Call 233-4000.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. It's clear that a lot of people in the CNMI has suffered from the effects of tobacco. The hospital and the Northern Marianas College partners up to raise awareness about the issue.
On the first half of this year alone, 76% of deaths here in the CNMI are due to non-communicable diseases. And tobacco is a major contributor to NCDs, so it's imperative that we educate the public and let them know of the services we provide.
Nicotine cessation classes will now be offered at the Northern Marianas College. In partnership with the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation, it is important to have another certified nicotine facilitator so the number of tobacco usage can drastically decrease.
At the moment, we have designed the classes to be, it's a 4-day session, but it encompasses a whole month's worth. So what happens is once every week, the cessation classes itself is going to be a group cessation as well. All the classes is, like what Kurt said, it's an hour or hour and a half long, depending on how, if there's more questions about, of course, tobacco. And first 2 would be about self-help and, of course, guidance to how to stay tobacco-free. Within those time frames, they're also aided when it comes to nicotine replacement therapies, and that would mean a patch or a gum. When the last 2 classes is most likely a follow-up, and then again, depending on how they would want to learn more about it themselves, that's how long the program would take.
Follow-up services are also provided after participants graduate from the program.
After they do graduate, we actually we follow up on them 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or a year, just to ensure that they are staying tobacco free. In the instances that they do relapse and start using tobacco, we're here to support them and get them to quit again. So it can be a long battle, but we're gonna be there every step of the way.
The classes are open to anyone 18 years or older who need help in fighting the addiction or who just wants to be more informed on the harms of tobacco. To register, you may call the tobacco hotline at 323-7848. And now we turn it over to our sister news outlet in Guam to find out their latest news.
Hafide Sinamai Guahusi Isaiah again, and here's what's making news on Guam. The governor is not budging from her recent order to ban the unvaccinated from establishments or events with high COVID transmissibility rates. Late Monday, she did announce a series of slight compromises, but they still fell well short of what her Physicians Advisory Group and the Hotel and Restaurant Association were recommending. KUAM's Nestor Lecanto reports.
In a video posted to her Facebook page, the governor made her strategy clear. She said vaccines are the greatest weapons against COVID, and she plans to use them to achieve full herd immunity and contain the spread. Her main objective is also clear: to ensure that critical care facilities are not overwhelmed by COVID at the expense of equally critical patients such as heart attack, stroke, and car accident victims.
My greatest fear is that we will not be able to provide hospital care for our people. In the last week, we have increased by 175% of COVID admissions to the hospital. The vaccine prevents serious illness and shortens its duration. As of this recording, there are 16 COVID admissions at GMH alone, 15 of whom are not vaccinated and 4 of whom are in the ICU and 3 on ventilators.
She says 90% of those are not vaccinated, and case studies also show that the unvaccinated spread the virus at a much higher rate. But there's been pushback from her own medical and economic advisory groups and the 20% of the community that are unvaccinated. They want her to rescind her vaccine mandate. The governor did pull back, but just slightly. In her refined order, she said it's now okay to enter covered businesses with a single immunization. Customers can also self-attest that they received a shot, and unvaccinated employees can work at such places but have to test negative for COVID on a weekly basis.
Even with these changes, our fundamental goals remain the same: to contain the spread of COVID and increase vaccinations to protect our families, our neighbors, and ourselves. This is the path we must stay on.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Meanwhile, Chamber of Commerce President Catherine Castro says, as a representative of the business community, the chamber should have been invited to discuss the new restrictions.
At this moment in time, did we really need to have this particular mandate put on our people? I don't think so. I think we could have done much better. I think we could have come to the table with the administration and put together something that was maybe not as stringent, and I think that the business community and the community of Guam would be much happy. We would not have this division that we are seeing right now.
Castro says while they're urging the governor to rescind the vaccination mandate, she expects businesses will comply with the executive order, and she's also encouraging those who are upset over it not to take it out on the businesses.
I know that there are unvaccinated folks out there that are truly upset, and my heart is with you. But please, these businesses, they're doing what they can to stay in business, and if they're trying to follow the law, we're just asking folks not to boycott them. They're doing their part. They're trying to follow the law, and as much as they don't want to, they have to in order to stay in business.
She adds that businesses will be complying with the order because nobody wants to be fined or forced to let their employees go. Stay informed 24/7 by checking out KUAM.com or downloading the KUAM News app, available for iOS or Android. Reporting for Guam News Network, Wahusi Isaiah again.
Thank you. Coming up, our man in Tokyo files a KSPN2 Sports Trip Report. We'll have that next.
For the different beats of your life, we're here to keep you connected the way you want it. Plans made for you, by you. Build your own bundle with Link. Select the internet, entertainment, mobile, and home phone plans that fit your lifestyle. Pay for what you want, not for what you don't. Build your own bundle and save with Link.
Being a responsible driver is simple. If you are drinking, do not drive. Number 1, plan your safe ride home before you start the party. Choose a non-drinking friend as a designated driver. 2, if someone you know has been drinking, do not let that person get behind the wheel. Take their keys and help them arrange a sober ride home. 3, if you drink, do not drive for any reason. Call a taxi, family member, or a friend. 4, if you are hosting a party where alcohol will be served, make sure all guests leave with a sober driver. Number 5, always wear your seatbelt. It is your best defense against impaired drivers. If you see an impaired driver on the road, call 911. Your actions could help save someone's life.
This is it, CNMI. The Road to 80 wraps up this week with a $4,000 raffle on Friday and the grand finale on Saturday. This is your last chance for a shot to win over $30,000 in cash, a 17-foot boat, and a Nissan Rogue Sport. So what are you waiting for? Register for your shot today at vaccinatecnmi.com or call 682-SHOT. The Road to 80 is brought to you by the Office of the Governor, COVID-19 Task Force, Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation, Joten Enterprises, Bridge Capital, Tan Holdings, and more.
My doctor gave me the pills, so they must be safe, right?
If taken exactly as prescribed, short-term use can be safe, but painkillers have real risk. Misusing an opioid painkiller can cause serious harm, including addiction and death, and misuse can happen quite easily. Make sure you never mix them with alcohol, antidepressants, sedatives, or sleep aids. And if you are prescribed an opioid, you need to tell your doctor about any other drugs, including herbal supplements that you are taking. It only takes a little to lose a lot.
Tonight's sports brought to you in part by Tan Holdings through the Tan Su Lin Foundation, making communities a better place to live.
Buenas sports fans. Buenas sports fans, the NMI may not have an Olympic committee, but we were represented in the Tokyo Olympics.
From the 90s all the way to the present, Robin Sapong has volunteered his time to NMI athletics in all capacities. Currently, he's the Secretary General for NMI Athletics and President of Oceania Athletics, which earned him an invitation to Tokyo.
I really don't have one word to describe it. I just really an honor to be there in person with this. My first Olympics ever. I've been to World Champions, but just being at the Olympics, even though we're not actually attached to the Olympics, it's a great honor for me representing Oceania region and of course the Northern Mines Athletics.
He says Japan's handling of the games during the pandemic were exemplary.
Tokyo deliver from the time you arrive or even the time you process papers to go there. They really did a tremendous job. From the time you get on the plane, by the time you get off the plane, everything was like systematic in place. And so overall, it's really impressive with the Tokyo organizing committee. And I don't think anybody could have done better than Tokyo.
Sapong's been tested for COVID-19 so many times he feels like an expert. Did you feel safe?
Yes, actually, prior to leaving, I had to get 2 PCR testing locally.
Yeah.
To get that within 96 hours. As soon as we arrive at the airport, testing, and we couldn't leave the airport until we get confirm our result. Then upon check-in to the hotel, another test. And then every day for 14 days, I became an expert with getting the tested because we do a testing process and we ensure that we get our result. They track us where we go. If you don't update your health check every day, they'll actually alert you. You cannot go anywhere. So I had the credentials to go any other games. So I wanted to watch USA and Brazil volleyball beside track and field, but we had to respect the protocol.
Sapong was there to present medals and also observe Oceania athletics.
All did well. Most of them set personal best, national records, and our big countries with this Australia, it's the best performance they have had in the years. Because just being in the top 8, it's already like finals. It's huge. It's just huge.
Track and field season ends in summer. 2022 will be a busy one.
22, we have, of course, the mini games, micro championship, and Oceania athletics must put on a Oceania championship because it's a lead way to Oregon 2022 in August. So it's gonna be a very busy year for athletics in our region.
Mafuti, it rhymes with delicious. It's an island favorite, fried mafuti, one of the very best. Good news, Mafuti fans. The 3rd annual Mafuti Derby is coming up Saturday from 6 to 3 at Smiling Cove Marina. Registration will be Thursday. That's at 13 Fishermen at 5:30 p.m. There's over $11,000 worth of prizes, all kinds of goodies and stuff, plus friendly people and, well, best of all, Mafuti. All right, basketball is back. Island's been star for men's basketball. 14 teams signed up for the NMI Rollers tournament that began this weekend. First round action Sunday afternoon at the well-ventilated, no aircon needed Cobleville Gym, the gym that no one wanted except basketball players. Thank you very much. The game versus Old Aces. Gallo, that's the first bucket of the game. Kobe Santos to Jack Lazama for the Old Aces. First bucket. Eric Joe left all alone in the corner. 3 ball. Greg De Leon Guerrero misses, but there's Jeff Sagel with the follow-up. Kobe loads up from the trench. Eric Joe. Oh, I can do that. Joe, he was a beast inside. No one on the Old Aces could contain him. Jack is back. Jack Lazama, the greatest of all time? Well, I don't know. It was 12-12, and then Mr. Momentum picked one team. Greg De Leon Guerrero, the drive, off the rim. Oh, there's Eric Joe. De Leon Guerrero from behind the arc. 3 hits a 3. Dean Blake capping a 10-point run for the game. Santos stopped the bleeding with a determined drive and deposit. But the Old Aces had no answer to those games' boulders inside. Zach Diaz rejected not once, but twice the pain of rejection. Kobe says reject this 3 times. He was keeping the Old Aces within shooting distance. They trailed by 8 at the break. Second half.
Well, it looked like the first half, but at the other end. Jack attack, an equalizer. They needed a run. Run. Greg De Leon Guerrero runs, and the game's guards were ready to run. When Kobe dropped in a sinker, the old Aces were down by 6 with lots of time. Eric Joe would not let his team get down. Play after play, he was there. Douglas Schmidt, the assist to Bobby Coldine. There was still time. Eric Joe says, yeah, but your time's running out. And then he said, now your time's really running out. Preston Baza rained some threes late in the game to keep the score interesting. But it's the game winning by 8, 67-59. Tournament to be continued next weekend. Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Go-karts, off-roading, and the driving range now open at Marianas Trekking. Go-kart track will be open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays with 50% off when you book online at marianastrekking.com. Hours 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Use the promo code HAFA50 to get your discount. Off-roading is open too by reservation. Come on a 90-minute trail ride that is perfect for families. Book online at marianastrekking.com. Golfers, come practice on the driving range. You can even pay online, and we will have the balls waiting for you. Come see us weekends at Marianas Trekking, 323-8735.
Drop into Shake Cafe at Gold's Gym for a quick and healthy meal. Fast food that's good for you. Our August smoothie of the month has oatmeal, peanut butter, raisins, and cinnamon. A healthy blend of 450 calories. Perfect for a meal replacement or a supplement. Shake, shake, shake it up at Gold's Gym.
And here is your weather report. Today's high 88, the low 78, humidity 75%. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, scattered showers, winds east 10 to 15, high 89, low 78, seas 2 to 3 feet. Sunrise at 6:04, high tide at 9:49 in the morning, a low tide at 4:26, sunset at 6:33. Boy, this is the best time to have sunsets. All right, that's it for Wednesday. News, sports, and sunsets. See you back here on Friday.